morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the show. And I hope everyone who didn't see me on Saturday had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you got through Black Friday and all that stuff, because Black Friday's the day we celebrate me and people like me, and we should always, because we don't get Indigenous People Day, we only get the shortest month of the year. We get the short of the stick. Is that how you say it? The short of the stick? The short stick? Someone drew the short straw? I don't know. We get the short month, so they have Black Friday to make up for it. We got to get a couple extra days here and there. Oh, wait. Friday was also Indigenous Peoples Day. Just can't treat a brother right, can they? So, yeah, did you know that not only do they change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, but apparently the day after Thanksgiving is also Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't get it. Come on. Can we make up for that short month somehow? Good God. Anyway. Actually, I'm kidding, right? I don't really give a shit. I don't think we should have days for anybody. I think we just say we should have, can't we all get along day? That'd be the day I want to see. Can't we all get along? But no, we're not. We're just not. Cigar Chopping Penguin, I'm so glad you're here because I missed your last super chat from Saturday. So I'm gonna tell the people about it today. In fact, here's your music. There. Thank you, Cigar Chopping Penguin, for sponsoring the show on Saturday when we did our trail stop stream. He said, I don't understand why Nirvana broke up after Cobain died. He left his best material on the garage ceiling, and his microphone was on the floor. That's dark. That's dark. Thank you, Cigar Chopping Penguin. Yes, from Saturday. I appreciate you. And so if you don't make it to the trail stop streams on Saturday, no, I didn't read that twice on Saturday. I didn't read it at all. I didn't remember that joke when I saw it on my list this morning, and I didn't cross it off my list. I generally cross the things off my list that are like been used, and so I didn't use that one. So I'm very happy that you did that, I think. And if you're not around for the Saturday Trail Stop streams, it's a time when we tell jokes and talk about the most random of things. And in fact, Marilyn, the manager of the bar, brought us something that someone left in the bar that if you haven't watched the first half of the stream, I'm not even going to describe it here. You just have to go back and look. I'm sorry. You just have to check it out. But I tell you what, it's nothing like my Monday through Friday streams. It is me and Lady Boomer drinking Bloody Marys and mimosas, telling jokes, getting jokes from the crowd. And I appreciate every single one of you who participate. It's fun. It's irreverent. And it's oh so serious. Okay, not really. Anyway, so today we're gonna I'm going back to just random news, but I gotta tell you, I am so very excited this week for an event that is happening that I've been waiting for nearly 3 years. 3 years I've been waiting for this event, and there's no stories on it this morning. At least I haven't seen them yet, but during the intro, I'll see if I missed something, because there's got to be something. The trial of the century. I guarantee you this will be the trial of the century. No, I'm not talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm not talking about Rittenhouse or the McMichaels, because those are done. No, the most important trial and maybe precedent-setting decision by a jury or a judge, depending on if they're doing this before a jury or a judge, is starting today. Ladies and gentlemen, the trial of Jussie Smollett begins today. And damn it, I don't know if it's going to be televised anywhere. I got to find that shit on the internet. I need to watch that trial. No, Ghislaine Maxwell, her trial is under lock and key by the judge. It's a media blackout, and they're not. It's shocker, right? There's some powerful people who probably don't want to hear their names during a trial of a guy who is basically selling them underage girls. So just that trial, of course, has what's it called? Not sequestered, but I'm sure the jury's gonna be sequestered too. They're not. The media's basically gonna black out on that one. So, so anyway, but that trial pales in comparison to the importance of Jesse, whatever the hell you want to call him, Jussie Smollett. Yes, the young man who just wanted to get a sandwich, and some MAGA hat wearing knuckleheads came and shoved him to the ground and poured some bleach on him and put a noose around his neck that looked a lot like a brand newly bought clothesline. And Jussie, the ever tough, whatever son of a bitch that he is, he fought them off like a man and then walked away, and his Subway sandwich did not even get a dent in it. He brought it home and started eating it. The detectives came in. He still had the rope around his neck. Oh, yes, and the wind chill was 29 below. And yes, an actor of, on the show Empire probably couldn't have called Uber Eats because he left his phone at the studio. And so he walked out to the Subway and did I mention that? And then the MAGA guys that tried to beat his ass and poured a little bit of bleach on him. Apparently they were some brothers from Nigeria. But it could have happened. But that trial starts today. All right. Maxwell is not publicized so that Maxwell doesn't drop names before they can use the bleep button on the camera. Yeah, they're not. They don't want anything. Oh boy. I saw something about Bill Gates, something about he thought that somewhere along the line, Jeffrey Epstein was going to help him win a Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize for what? No, that's the Nobel Committee. As I say, it was the UN. They know all about kitty diddling in certain countries. But anyway, yeah, who knows what Bill Gates was thinking. But anyway, we're going to get into whatever news I have open here. There's a couple things that I wanted to start with because something that I saw this morning almost make me threw up my caramel roll. So we'll get into it right after the intro. Jaddy, play the intro, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. All right, let's stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Monday, the 29th of November, 2021, post-Thanksgiving food coma and pre-Christmas joy. Yes, the Christmas lights are not up on my house, which I should have done this weekend. Yes, what else did I do that I was spending? I was going to clean the garage so Lady Boomer could at least put her car in it because I've got all kinds of furniture and sanding and woodworking stuff in there. Nope, didn't get that done. We did have, okay, on a sad note, if you watched the stream Saturday, unfortunately we had to put down one of our dogs this weekend. Lucky, the studio here, the Lucky Dog Studio, is named after my dog Lucky, who she's getting old, and she got some sort of cancer that in the end she couldn't eat anymore, and we just didn't want her to suffer anymore. So a little sad, very sad about that. It was a sad weekend, but we ended up going to the trail stop afterwards, and then we did some other stuff. We did some cooking, and my Lady Boomer took some Thanksgiving leftovers. Since we didn't have Thanksgiving leftovers, we made an entire Thanksgiving meal and sent leftovers out to people anyway. So she drove some leftovers to some friends, and it was a decent weekend despite the fact that the older of our two puppies is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Lucky. We love you. All right. I'm getting a little choked up here. But, all right. So about what I saw, I wasn't going to talk about everything's political these days, but I wanted to talk about Omicron. Okay. Oh my God, Omicron sounds bad, doesn't it? Yes, we have a new variant of the 19 that is sweeping the world. Everyone's talking about it. And but then I got onto the on the internets here, onto Twitter, and I saw this little it's in the, like Twitter news, like they put what they want you to know on Twitter news on the right-hand side of the column. And I just popped over there and I looked, and there was this thing that says, with Kamala Harris looking unelectable, the Democrats are considering the nuclear option. Now, I read that. In fact, here, let me show you. I'm going to show you. It's right here on the edge of my Twitter machine here. Let me, right there. Is that it? It's this picture? This picture with Joe Biden. Oh, wait, wrong one. Let me fix that. There's right here. There it is. See this right here? You can see, I think you can see my cursor. Yeah, right there. It says, with Kamala Harris looking unelectable, the Democrats are considering the nuclear option. Now, I saw that, and I'm thinking to myself, what the actual hell, I'm going to keep it somewhat PG today, what the actual hell are they talking about? Considering the nuclear option. I'm thinking, okay, are they going to put her in office before his term ends, like as in the 25th Amendment on Joe Biden? That would be kind of nuclear right now, right? I mean, people would be like, what? Wait, well, what? Although most people would be like, oh, yeah, I get it. But no, that wasn't it. And I thought, well, okay, what's the second nuclear option? Are they thinking of making her step down? That'd be kind of nuclear, right? That would be super nuclear. Just tell her to quit and get somebody that, well, I don't know who the Democrats have in the bullpen, not too many. But then I clicked what it said. I clicked the article. I got to find it. What the hell did I do with it? It was right. No, that's it. Here I had to do it's the Telegraph. Now the Telegraph is much less tabloid than, say, the Daily Mail or the Daily the British newspapers are pretty tabloidy, right? But the Telegraph is supposed to be a little more serious than some of these other tabloids in Great Britain, right? And I'm like, okay, it's from the Telegraph, so it must be somewhat serious. Let's read. I had to do an archive version too, because the Telegraph is under a paywall. But I got this. Oh wait! Before I read this, I'm sorry. I got to say good morning. I'm sorry. I led you. This is called bait. I'm baiting you into wondering what the fuck is he talking about. Oh shit! I said yeah, I did, didn't I? You heard that? Do you think they heard it? Do you think YouTube heard it? Well, we'll see. I might get away with it. Anyway, let's say good morning to everybody first, because this is going to be a long morning. Plus I may not get to half the articles I have open today. But I'm gonna put them all in the tab because there's a lot of really good articles this morning that I found, and you might want to check them out. But let's say good morning to the gang. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations right there. So, and whatever that says, what's that? Subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, share the channel, hit the like button, do all that stuff that YouTubers ask you every time. You're pretty good about it, and I always appreciate you. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can watch it PDawgKnight.live, and you can watch the show, chat on the right-hand side, still have the thing up there. If you get an urge to just throw, millions of dollars at me, I will not argue with you if you do it. Now, okay, so let's say good morning. First in the chat today is Wikipedia Snippet. Yay! Thank you, sir, for being here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Wait, what's going on there? Oh, okay, I said it did. And then let's see. Next, also, good morning, Maddie from the House Geek. She gets a truck horn because she can run and drive a truck. Good morning, Somnambule Nation. Thank you for tweeting out the show. Mike Savage, Blarg. Selected Boys in the house.
Yeah,
also, good morning
boy.
to Aaron Meredith. Nice to have you back. Avocado Stiabli, the Devil's Advocates here. Also, good morning to TC. What's up? Scrolling. Wikipedia snippet. Yeah, you were first. Okay. And also, good morning to. I saw some. Well, and y'all are talkative this morning. Way to go! I love it. King on Common Law. My second favorite Canadian, and right behind him is my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, good morning, Zach to the Future and Data Wasteland and Tyre Alexander. What's up? The Crazy Mean Friday on this channel and the Saturday is the Breast Power Hour. Well, were we talking about? No, we didn't. Was that this week? Did we talk about something about breast milk or something? No, we didn't. Anyway, that happens sometimes too. Also, good morning to Lexi Mads. How you doing? Welcome back. Renee Mayette's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, Lord Stanhope, Cigar Chomping Penguin, what's up? Buster's Outlaws, nice to have you back. And is that about everybody? Oh, I got Cigar. I'm just scrolling, just slowly. Did I get everybody? I think I did. That's everybody. So, Anna Lynn's back. Nice to have you back. A regular viewer of the show, and Jonathan Peterson's in the house. Nice to see you. Colleen Bernier, our Florida. Aren't you our Florida correspondent or something like that? That's what Scribe always used to say. Oh, according to Chicago Tribune, cameras are banned, so no live stream for this trial. Oh, that sucks. I hope somebody is live streaming, not live streaming, even live blogging. I'd be happy to see. I want to see what's going on in that trial. That's a Jussie Smollett trial in Chicago. Okay, that's kind of everybody. If I missed you, I will. Oh, Tyler F's in the house. Nice to see you, friend. And H.P. Lovecraft, Will Sinner, and I think I got you all here. All right, there we go. I'll let the containers breast milk come in. I get it. Yeah, me too. Okay. By the way, this this show is sponsored by Rittenhouse Rye. Okay, not really. I just happen to have a bottle on my desk still because I haven't opened it. One of these days, I'm gonna do a drunk stream. We're gonna gently sip this Rittenhouse Rye, which, by the way, the Rittenhouse Rye, the company that makes Rittenhouse Rye, put out a statement. Let me see if I can find that statement because it's pretty. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find the statement from Rittenhouse Rye. Because they put out a statement about the trial. Oh, here it is, right here. Here it is. This is special. Okay, where is this? They're disheartened. They were disheartened. The company that makes Rittenhouse Rye. Here's the article. Rittenhouse Rye maker disheartened that people are buying its whiskey to celebrate not guilty verdict. What? Why would you be disheartened? You're disheartened that someone celebrates a not guilty verdict? Let's read along. In either a reverse psychology marketing ploy or a self-destructive display of woke politics, a distillery is discouraging people from buying its Rittenhouse Straight Rye whiskey to celebrate the not guilty verdict in the homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, which has been subject to a divisive national debate and media coverage. Rittenhouse Rye is named after Rittenhouse Square in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Heaven Hill explains, in one of a trio of Monday tweets distinguishing and distancing its whiskey from the trial. We have hang on a second. Hang on. Let me do something here. This is important because I want to kind of set the mood for this. Let's see. Let's go with this. Here we go. Here we go. Let's try this. We have been disheartened to learn that people have been buying Rittenhouse rye to celebrate Kyle Rittenhouse's acquittal, the company says. We've been disheartened to learn that some individuals and businesses have been using our Rittenhouse straight rye whiskey brand to celebrate the Kyle Rittenhouse case verdict, despite the profound loss of life from those events. There is no link between our Rittenhouse rye brand, which was started post-prohibition to commemorate Rittenhouse Square, and in this case, it is our strongly held belief that in serious matters such as this, where lives were lost and people were deeply affected, there is no cause for celebration, but instead, deep reflection on how we can make the world a more peaceful and respectful place for all. Yes. I just, motherfuckers, what is wrong with you? Okay, now, when they say the words, these words, this part of it kind of got to me here, okay? I'm a little concerned about this particular line. In serious matters such as this, where lives were lost. Oh, wait, no, that's not the one. Celebrate the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict despite the profound loss of life from those events. So I'm a the profound loss of life. Excuse me. From those events. Profound loss of life. When they say profound loss of life, do I even need to say it? Wait, first of all, profound. Usually when someone says a profound loss of life, does that sound like maybe this was do they think this was like the Las Vegas thing? You know, like there were a bunch of people shot and killed and injured and all that stuff. Do they? I'm confused. Okay. So first we lost Joseph Rosenblatt, who, you know, I don't celebrate the death of anybody. Even, well, that's a tough one with him because he's a piece of work. But there's two people got killed, right? And one guy's got his bicep turned into a unicep, right? And but the profound loss of life, that's when you care about the people who died. And I certainly have a hard time giving a shit about a guy convicted of 5 cases of raping boys under the age of 11. I don't even know why that fucker's who's out of prison. How did he get out of prison? Is my first question. And not that I think, you know, it's my job to put him in the hole and bury it while he's still breathing. I just don't understand the profound loss of life there. And then the other guy who terrorized his own grandmother, and you know, do they have any idea what the hell they're talking about? I think you'd celebrate the verdict because the guy was being railroaded when he clearly was acting in self-defense. And it's okay to celebrate that if you think the kid was being, that they were tempted to punish him for just being him, you know? Holy shit. bleh, bleh. I can't even. I can't even. He's dumb mother. That, by the way, that article will be in the news tab when we're done here. Every man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Therefore, never send for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee is the mentality, I guess. Well, yeah. I just got it. I just don't get it. Anyway, let's talk about our vice president just for a moment. Because this Kamala Harris looking unelectable. Okay, here's the article from the Telegraph, not the Daily Telegraph, not the Daily Mail, but the Telegraph, a serious newspaper. Let's explain. Oh, David McDowell. By the way, good morning, David McDowell. Let's see, Wilson, are you already here? Somebody else showed up that I didn't say hi to yet. Special K on Acid, what's happening? And Asian Research Directorate, Lord Stanhope. I think I'm caught up. All right, so let's talk about here. Now, here's the headline. Okay, Daily Telegraph with Kamala Harris. Kamala. Yes, her. Kamala Harris. Looking unelectable, the Democrats are considering the nuclear option. Now, if you haven't already seen this, please tell me which nuclear option you're thinking of. And if you haven't seen it yet, what nuclear option? Put it in the chat. What do you think the nuclear option might be? But the sub-headline is, whispers in Washington suggest Joe Biden's camp has a plan to find a more popular replacement ahead of the 2024 White House battle. Now, something that was kicked around this weekend that I got a good chuckle out of, this just, I was laughing my ass off, was people were suggesting that, now why they're even talking about 2024, because Joe Biden is really in trouble. They were talking about Harris Buttigieg, the Harris Buttigieg ticket for 2024. And I was, I got a good chuckle out of that. But what do you think the nuclear option they're talking about is for Vice President Harris, who I use a title because that is her title, okay? I'm going to read you it's in the first paragraph of this article that I'm not showing you. Let's see. Forgive me for this, but that bitch was the first out of the primary. She quit the field after Tulsi ate her lunch. She is such a snake. Yes, she is. I don't think, she got through law school, and I just don't know. And she's good at asking, like, what do you call it? Like, she's good at asking snarky questions in Senate hearings, but nobody likes her. Anyway, let's see. What, 3-2 drop payload? No, that's not it. Looking unelectable, which is why she dropped out in 2020. Yep. Nuclear. What did I say? Nuclear? I said nuclear, didn't I? I didn't say nuclear. I don't say nuclear. My grandmother was an English teacher. I could say nuclear. Let's see. They're going to run Nuki, the atomic bomb, in 2024, of course. Justice Harris. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to stop because Anna Lynn got it. Democrats desperately scrambling to find a potential successor to Joe Biden in 2024 are whispering about the potential nuclear option that could see Kamala Harris, the current vice president, nominated to the Supreme Court. What? Now, why? First of all, there's zero, and I mean less than zero. Remember that movie, Less Than Zero? Look around. into ground. It's time. It's a shady days of winter. Look around. Okay, anyway. The Bangles version of Shady Haze. What is it? Shady Haze of Winter? Something like that. Anyway, there's zero chance in hell that a single Republican is going to say, hey, let's put her on the Supreme Court. She's a moron. And I would just, oh, wait, that would be kind of entertaining, though. That would be, oh my God, would that be entertaining? You know how she has this habit of laughing at the most inopportune moments? I could just see a big, she's sitting there at the other 8 justices and she starts laughing at something that's really dumb, and I could see Justice Thomas looking at her like, what the bitch? What the fuck are you laughing at? But anyway, David McDowell, Mass Creation. Nice to see you. While the scenario is highly improbable and perhaps a reflection of a Washington rumor mill in overdrive, yeah. In fact, right here, why does that not work when I need it to work? What the fuck's going on here? Oh, did I? Okay, I don't know why that's not working. Anyway, I was going to put my extra doubt up there, but yeah, rumor and overdrive. The fact it has come up at all shows the depth of the predicament the Biden administration currently finds itself in amid rising inflation, a stalled domestic agenda, and foreign policy disasters. Polls are now regularly showing Mr. Biden's approval rating below 40%. A panic has set in at the White House after a recent poll put Kamala Harris at an unelectable 28%. Now, okay, as much as you hate that, there have been presidents that have been very, very... Okay, I'm not even going to say it. It's not true. He sucks. He just sucks. And it's going worse. And she's even worse. And nobody likes her. And she's goofball. And the idea of her on the Supreme Court... do you really believe in your heart of hearts that Kamala Harris would be nothing other than a political shill if she got on the court? Hell no. Nothing but. It's just, it's embarrassing, the thought of it. And I still stand by my prediction that sometime around February or March 2023, Mr. Biden will be leaving office. I believe that in my heart of hearts. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna get sick, or his dementia is gonna go full blown, and he will be either relieved of his duties or just step down because of the remember they said that thing about the thing he said about with Obama, and they had the deal or something where if they are they're on different planes, so to speak, that he would just probably just get sick and step down. I think he wasn't talking about Obama. I think he was talking about his current scenario. And that would give her 2 full years as president of the United States, unelected, and then she would have the opportunity to run 2 more times if she waits until January 2020, or excuse me, well, it'd have to be after January 2023. That's how that works. And so I think he's going to hang on for that long. The idea that he would nominate her to the Supreme Court, first of all, I don't even know who's going to lead the Supreme Court at this point. I think they'll wait. Who is it? Stevens, I think. Isn't he the oldest one right now? I know they've been talking about him possibly stepping down, but I think he'll wait till later in the term of this particular president if he does. And I don't know if he would just to step down just to make sure that they get him nominating someone. But by then, you might have 59 Republican senators, because I'm telling you, I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath as far as Democrat politics over the next 3 years, between this midterm election coming up and the odd, year election that some states have. Of course, not for senators and Congress people, but boy. I would, well, it would surprise me if they got a veto proof majority, but I think they're going to be up there. You might not. Well, who's our Manchin or the guy from what's the guy? Tess? Is Tess gone from Montana? I think he might be up, or is he still around? I don't know. But anyway, if they don't flip 3 or 4 Senate seats, I'd be shocked. And I wouldn't be shocked if they flipped 7 or 8 Senate seats. Probably not, but I don't think it's going to be. They got about. They don't have much time. They need to get their shit together before next November. Let's just put it that way. Hig, what's up? How you doing? Nice to see you. Hope say hi to Cindy. Also, Jenny Ghost Bears in the house. Nice to see you. So anyway, the rest of this is just about how unpopular they are. Now, but I haven't skipped down here. Beside the scene, this is all just about how bad their polling is. Behind the scenes, discussion of how Democrats could arrive at a third option for the next election are underway. Operatives are preparing for the possibility of a contested presidential primary in which other would-be nominees take on Ms. Harris, but that could be damaging for the party. Now, they're still talking about Joe Biden running again, even though Joe Biden said he was only going to do it once. And I think Jill would be very unhappy if he ran again in 24. But anyway, the left field Supreme Court theory would mean Mr. Biden nominating Ms. Harris, a former high-flying prosecutor. Yeah, she must have been high when she was flying because, oh boy. Turish, nice to see you. Welcome. If a seat on the court became available over the next 3 years, which it may well, Mr. Biden could use Section 2 of the 25th Amendment to nominate a more popular vice president. Yeah, like Pete Buttigieg. Oh my. This is not looking. Now, look, you never know. The economy could just completely turn around in the next couple of years. COVID could be cured before the 2022 midterms. It could cure cancer and save all the whales and the polar bears. There'd be, instead of the 3,000, which is probably their average population over the last 50 years, it could go up to 5,000, and global warming would be cured, and he could stop making everyone buy those fucking electric cars that they want everyone to buy. I'm sorry, am I going on a rant here? Anyway, here's the other one. The idea of the Supreme Court nomination for Ms. Harris was first reported by CNN. This is CNN. While calling it an Aaron Sorkin-style rumor, a reference to the creator of The West Wing, said the chatter has already reached the top levels of the Biden orbit. I can't even believe they're considering it. You can read the rest of this crap yourself. I'm not reading the rest. Anyway, say it with me now. Here, I'm going to do one of these. Justice Harris. Come on down. Oh, anyway, let's talk about a little news now, because I'm way beyond what I would normally do on an article like that. Anyway, the 9th child from the event that shall not be spoken of has left the hospital after the Waukesha Christmas massacre. A 9th child was discharged from Children's Wisconsin Hospital after being treated for injuries suffered in the Christmas parade tragedy Sunday. Total of 7 children are still recovering in the hospital 1 week after the crazed driver. Oh, no. There wasn't a driver, okay? It was not. There was no driver. This was a SUV, according to the Washington Post. Yes, an SUV crashed through the crowd, and then according to CNN, it was just a car. A car went into the crowd, and it's been a week since that happened, and the car is being charged with drunk driving by itself. There was no driver in the car, and we don't know anything about the driver at all. There was no driver, so you couldn't know anything about the driver. 3 of the children are in serious condition that are left. 3 are in fair condition. 1 is in good condition. The hospital now. So good. That's great. I'm so this little kid right here, wow, that was so close. I know those parents' hearts have to have stopped. You know, it's just amazing. But anyway, that's good that some of these kids got out of the hospital. Oh, don't look at that picture. That guy is just a guy who was filled with grief and was on the side of the parade, and they had to give him a sedative to help him out. There is nothing happened in Waukesha at all, and it was just some errant cars that ran away. Now, you know why I'm saying that. You know what I mean? Anyway, now here's this is, you know, this. Have you noticed have you heard about all the smash and grabs and the things? Well, unfortunately, a security guard was killed this weekend. Why is that doing that? Here, let's move that over. Hang on. There. And another assault as a flash mob robbers turned deadly. Retired police officer Kevin Nishida was killed after being shot by an assailant who attempted to steal KRON4's news equipment as they filmed from the scene of a flash mob looting incident in Oakland, California. It's happened a lot in California, too. It's like, I mean, it's not just California. It happened in Chicago, too, but this is getting crazy. And this, of course, I'm sure they're going to list this as a Asian hate crime, or a hate crime against Asians. But anyway, though the so-called experts suggest people shouldn't call flash mob looting because it's allegedly only used to describe people of color or urban dwellers who are engaging in such behavior, it's not. That indeed exactly what's been happening at an elevated level, especially in the states like California over the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, things took a violent, deadly turn last week when a security guard, Kevin Nishida, who was providing armed security for KRON on behalf of Star Protection Agency, was shot Wednesday as an assailant or assailants tried to steal the news crew's equipment while they were filming from the scene of a prior flash mob looting incident in downtown Oakland. Sadly, Nishida died early Saturday morning. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Nishida worked as an armed guard for Star Protection Agency. Prior to working as a guard, he served as a police officer at the Oakland Housing Authority, Hayward Police, San Jose Police, and Colma Police Departments. And they have a reward for his information that leads to the arrest of the person who shot him. And then a bunch of people were tweeting about him. Very sad. And I don't know how they're going to get this shit under control. Several outlets commemorated his service in their different departments. Now, apparently, this Oakland police just released this picture of the vehicle believed to be involved in the murder of the guard, Kevin Nishida. And this is terrible. This shit's is crazy. Just the smash and grab burglaries. Here's a CNN report on this.
On the left, thieves violently hack away at a jewelry counter's glass case near San Francisco. On the right, several perpetrators ransack a Louis Vuitton store outside Chicago. Authorities say they made away with over $100,000 worth of handbags and other merchandise. At this Nordstrom store in Canoga Park near L.A. on Wednesday, at least 5 people went in and did more than steal valuable merchandise.
A number of suspects entered the door here behind me and took several high-end purses. Unfortunately, we do have a security guard here that was working for the store, working for Nordstrom's, that was attacked by the suspects.
CNN affiliate KABC reports at least one of those suspects was wearing an orange wig. The same day, at an Apple store in Santa Rosa, California, north of San Francisco, at least 4 people stole.
You know, it's funny because we were watching the all those like Walgreens, the CVS's getting looted and just robbed, and because they had the California has that stupid idea that, well, if it's under $900 worth of merchandise, it's not, it's no big deal. It's like it turns it into a misdemeanor. Where in most places that would be a felony, and but they're not. The whole defund the police movement and fuck the police and all that shit. People are just realizing there is no one protecting you. So you got to be careful. I watched a video of a mugging the other day. Just two guys getting in a car and, bunch of, I swear they looks like they were children mugging these guys and stealing their stuff and then trying to take their car because they were so much smaller than the two guys. But there's like 7 of them all beating on these guys, and it's insanity, man. It's insanity.
$20,000 worth of merchandise.
You know what? I'll leave a link. I'm not going to leave this up. This video is in the article, and that'll be in the tab down below. And it's part of it too is, like this says down here, the incidents are too numerous to mention in one piece, but they all have a common denominator. A vast majority are happening in Democrat-run cities and states. In California in particular, some are blaming the spike in crimes involving smash and grabs, other robberies, as well as the rise of car break-in and the rise of car break-ins on woke district attorneys who tend to take lenient approaches towards the accused and convicted that other prosecutors have acknowledged have only led to more crimes and more victims. Yeah, you got Jason Booten in San Francisco who won't prosecute anybody for anything, and then now he's mad that the crime is up and people are talking about it. Well, look in the mirror, shitbag. I'm sorry. I'm using quite colorful language today. I apologize for, well, no, not really, because they are shitbags. Anyway, now, I had another article on this I'm going to move up to that's related. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. I must have accidentally closed it. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of the UK, because that's where that Telegraph article is from, this is interesting. Apparently, bureaucrats in the United Kingdom are banning the word Christmas. I don't know if they're banning it. They ban it for their particular ad campaign, though. And this is interesting. Now, this is Breitbart. Take it for what it's worth. Breitbart sometimes is a decent news organization. Sometimes they're agenda-driven. But they're telling stories that not a lot of the people want to tell. So I will use Breitbart quite often because they're telling stories that you don't hear that much. Apparently, UK civil servants have axed, and I don't mean like a brother talking about asking, but axed, A-X-E-D, the word Christmas from proposed government campaign for fear the term will offend minorities. Because, now, not minorities like the brothers, because, in America, brothers love Christmas, right? And sisters, the brothers and sisters, we love Christmas. We're talking about minorities, like people, Asians, as they call them in the UK. Asians, don't want to offend Asians by using the word Christmas. British civil servants have apparently embraced their inner Scrooge, vetoing the use of the word Christmas from being used in a coronavirus testing drive aimed at students, arguing that the use of the term runs the risk of offending minorities within that country. The campaign, which reportedly would have revolved around ministers using the slogan, "Don't take COVID home for Christmas." It was a whole new Christmas song. As part of a larger government effort to limit the spread of the Chinese coronavirus. This is Breitbart. No wonder they use that racist language. After 2 cases of the Omicron variant. I'm sorry. So I'll explain that. Because you're going to be hearing a lot about the Omicron variant. Because it's really scary. It's scary. The Omicron variant is, what they want you to know about right now, because maybe they can make new rules for the midterm elections talking about the Omicron variant. So just get used to it, okay? Were discovered on shore. 2 cases of the Omicron variant were discovered on shore. We have been advised by the Cabinet Office that we should not use the word Christmas as the government campaign needs to be inclusive. And some religions don't celebrate Christmas. An email seen by the Mail on Sunday read, the other option was festive season, which keeps the emotional motivation. We have gone with don't take COVID-19 Home for the holidays. As it links to school and university Christmas holiday. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. The email continued. The alliteration with home and holidays scans well and is memorable. They can fuck right off. Anyway, there's a corresponding Daily Mail article about the same thing. If you want to get real detailed, there you go. It's right in that Daily Mail article, and they're more tabloidish than whoever. Let's see. What was the next one I had? Oh, is this it? Oh, yeah, I wanted this whole Waukesha thing. It's fascinating to me how they're not talking about Waukesha. And so this article by Victor David Hansen, if you're familiar with him, he's, I can't remember where he's from. He's a professor of law somewhere. Or, let's see, the author, Victor David Hansen, a distinguished fellow of the Center of American Greatness and the Martin and Illie Anderson Senior Fellow at Stanford University Hoover Institution. He's an American military historian, columnist, former classics professor, and scholar of ancient warfare. He has been a visiting professor at Hillsdale College since 2004. Hansen was awarded the National Humanities Medal in 2007 by President George W. Bush. Hansen is also a farmer growing and raising grapes on a farm in Selma, California, and a critic of social trends related to farming and agrarianism. He is an author. Okay, so that's the name. You know Victor David Hansen. Tessa Cunningham, how are you? I see you. I thought I saw you earlier. Anyway, he makes some pretty good points about this this whole Waukesha thing. And I might just make this, even though I got 20 more articles open here, but I think I'm just going to stick with this one for a minute. Because it's fascinating. And then I'll just go through random headlines to get you caught up. History, not law? Yeah, history. I meant history, not law. Yeah, he's a historian. Both Wisconsin towns, Kenosha and Waukesha, for those of you not from Wisconsin, yeah, they have a lot of unusual town names, kind of derivatives of various Indian tribes and things that happen in Wisconsin. Kenosha and Waukesha are about 50 miles apart by car, where the recent sites were the recent sites of multiple deaths. The violence in both made national news. Yet, in contradictory ways, both reflected the common themes of America's current legal, media, and societal corruption. The relevant public prosecutors both were in the news for alleged ideological bias. Specifically, they habitually calibrated the charging, indicting, and of trying or not of defendants through ideological lenses and community pressure rather than on the basis of the facts and the law. Kyle Rittenhouse was a 17-year-old armed youth who volunteered to protect business properties at the height of the August 2020 arson, riots, and looting in Kenosha. He was pursued and attacked by 3 members from a larger group who chased the armed youth, presumably either to disarm, injure, or kill him, or perhaps all 3. Rittenhouse variously was assaulted, kicked, and had a firearm pointed at him. In reaction, he fatally shot 2 of his pursuing attackers and wounded a 3rd. Kenosha prosecutors reviewed videos of the altercations. They saw clearly that Rittenhouse was running away from his assailants. He was variously rushed by one assailant, kicked by another, and struck with a skateboard by still another. Again, a final pursuer pointed a gun at him at close range. No matter, the Kenosha District Attorney's Office charged Rittenhouse with several felonies, including 2 first-degree homicide charges, all 4 whom Rittenhouse fired at, whether he missed, wounded, or fatally shot, had lengthy arrest records. 3 were convicted felons. A 4th had a long arrest record. Given the lengthy, quite horrific rap sheet of Rittenhouse's first attacker, Joseph Rosenbaum, including multiple counts of pedophilic rape, it is difficult to understand why the latter was not in jail. He had been released earlier that day from a mental facility to which he had been committed after a failed suicide attempt. The common denominator to the various prior convictions of his other 3 assailants was that they should have led to consequences far worse, given that many of their arrest charges were dropped, or bail was sometimes waived, or plea bargaining turned serious charges into merely bothersome ones. The release of violent offenders on little or no bail seems now thematic in Wisconsin. It sounds familiar in many cities, right? You feel me? Shortly after the August 2020 shootings, the media, Joe Biden, and most of the left-wing commentariat had claimed Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. Even though there was no evidence of such a libel then or now. Remember, the Kenosha shootings took place just 9 weeks before the November presidential election, at a time when the left was framing incumbent Trump as a white supremacist and Joe Biden as a healer. The shootings were immediately declared to be racial, yet both the shooter, Rittenhouse, and all of his attackers who were wounded or killed were white.
You're fucking a white male!
A fourth assailant, an African-American who kicked Rittenhouse while he was on the ground, escaped without injury. What followed in the media was the most egregious example of a concocted fiction since the Russian collusion hoax. Rittenhouse was falsely accused of crossing state lines, plural, while unlawfully armed with an illegal automatic weapon. In truth, he did not buy the Smith & Wesson semi-automatic rifle, much less bring it into nearby Waukesha. Excuse me. What? Wait, he didn't bring it nearby Waukesha, from nearby Aurora, Illinois. Okay, he got that mixed up. I'm sure he meant Kenosha from Antioch. But anyway, it was legal for Rittenhouse to possess and use the firearm. The gun itself was not unlawful. He did not purchase it, but had been given it by a friend, and Kenosha was his alternative home in that it was where his father and other relatives lived. Rittenhouse then was constructed as the proverbial white supremacist of the sort warned about by the likes of Joe Biden, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley. What the fuck are they talking about, Kyle Rittenhouse? Anyway, at various times during the trial, the prosecuting attorneys called Rittenhouse a coward. The coward of the county. They claimed he should have faced the pursuing mob of at least a dozen and willingly taken a beating from them face to face. In at least one case at gunpoint. The jury, inter alia, was told that the ongoing arson and other violent acts were not serious crimes and that the three who had attacked Rittenhouse were near heroic victims. Protesters outside the courthouse tried to intimidate the defense and jurors. The journalists sought to follow the jury bus, ostensibly to divulge their identities or to intimidate them. MSNBC was subsequently banned from the courtroom. The piece de resistance was a lead DA's pointing an empty semi-automatic weapon at the jury with his finger on the trigger. Fucking moron. And all in the aftermath of Alec Baldwin's accidental shooting with an empty loaded gun of two bystanders on a film set. The DA apparently risked to scare the jury into a guilty verdict through the sensation of having a rifle pointed at them. Given the jury appears post facto to have been made up of reasonable people, the puerile gambit probably backfired. All that the imbecilic DA, to emphasize, imbecilic, confirmed by his actions was the same recklessness that those in the state and city government who had permitted parts of Kenosha to burn in the first place. There were lots of suicidal prosecutorial stunts such as these in what turned out to be a circus of sorts. The DA also sought to deprecate the constitutionally protected Fifth Amendment right of self-incrimination against self-incrimination. They bizarrely saw their key witness admitting under cross-examination that he had first pointed his handgun at Kyle Rittenhouse, who then understandably fired at him. And then they deliberately released an inferior version of the video record of the shooting to the defense while keeping the superior one to their perceived advantage. Hello, K-Show. So, the state's madness raised strange questions. Were the incompetent DAs simply a window into this dysfunctional Kenosha County District Attorney's Office where bumbling was an institutionalized force multiplier to bias? Were the state prosecutors deliberately inept in order to prompt a mistrial and thus a retrial, second chance, of their botched case? Or were they lazily going through the motions to satisfy the mob they did not really believe Rittenhouse was guilty? Or were they just mediocre, camera-hungry wannabe celebrities who wished to win cheap media attention for as long as the bewildered judge would put up with their bizarre antics? The jury unanimously cleared Rittenhouse of all charges and apparently concluded correctly that if law enforcement and the state either could not or would not protect lives and property in Kenosha, and if because of that dereliction of duty, some citizens stepped up to take up the role that the police had utterly abandoned, that as citizens, they had the right to defend themselves if attacked by those committing violence. For some time, the media demand has exceeded the available supply of clear-cut cases of white oppressors and black victims. At least if the Jussie Smollett hoax, the hands up, don't shoot lie, and the Photoshop pictures and edited tapes of George Zimmerman are any indication. Yet, the real reason the left strained to gin up the theme of white-on-white violence as an example of racism was their larger agenda of sending a message to middle America. No American in times of riot, arson, and looting should have the right to use firearms to protect property, and under no circumstances could a citizen use a gun to ward off those intending to maim or kill him. Had Rittenhouse been found guilty, there no longer would be recourse for citizens living in cities where criminals were freely given to the streets. Oh, Jada Clay, how you doing? In other words, had such a clear-cut case of self-defense morphed into a successful murder conviction, then the most powerful figure in the nation would become the local district attorney. De facto, a DA could empower a mob to loot, burn, steal, and injure by refusing to indict those who arrested, even if an increasingly politicized mayor and police chief chose to allow their officers to keep the public safe. We would then assume that in this state of nature, anyone protecting property during a riot would be fair game for the mob, given the target would know he could become a convicted felon by defending himself from the attack. So the left understood well the messaging of attacking the open city and undefended town of Kenosha, and the conviction of a murderer Rittenhouse, accept our political agenda and premises, or otherwise your culpable community will be torn apart with impunity, and any who chose to combat the violence with violence will be charged with capital crimes. Yeah, that would have sucked. Let's just put it that way. Now, let's talk about the criminal SUVs. The SUVs, the cars that are self-driving and run through crowds. Not long after Rittenhouse was acquitted, one Darrell Brooks Jr., an African-American with a 20-year record of serious felonies, allegedly drove his car deliberately into a Christmas parade in Waukesha, killing 6 innocents and injuring over 60, several just recently getting out of the hospital, children. Unlike the dishonest media reaction lying about Rittenhouse, who had no criminal record, there was an initial careful restraint not to identify the career criminal Brooks as the murderous driver who weaponized his vehicle against parade goers. Despite firsthand accounts from bystanders that the lethal driver was an African-American with dreadlocks, the media, feigning unaccustomed professionalism in this instance, withheld rusted judgment, identification, and culpability. Joe Biden, for a moment, was commendably quiet in editorializing about the racial motivations or ideology of a suspect. Hey, give him one of these. For a while, the media ran with its own concocted rumor that Brooks merely was fleeing from an altercation and apparently had mistakenly turned the wrong way into a crowd, despite videos showing the driver deliberately ramming through street barriers repeatedly to seek out targets. Intent likely explains why he killed and injured so many innocents. Finally, the news settled into the present narrative of a car crash, as if a driverless vehicle on autopilot had simply bumped into various people in the street before burying the murderers altogether on the back pages and dropping the crime from the evening news, or as the Washington Post put it, quote, "Here is what we know so far on the sequence of events of events that led to the Waukesha tragedy caused by an SUV. That media-generated ruse continued even when details of Brooks' lengthy felony record were finally released. At the time, he was mowing down strangers. He had 5 open arrest charges, including 2 felonies. Brooks had been released on $1,000 bail just 2 days earlier. In another eerie coincidence, after being arrested for attempting to run over a woman and her child, the same modus operandi reified, something like that, at the Waukesha Christmas slaughter. An alien from Mars who examined Brooks' life of crime, his recent violence, and the ease with which he was serially let loose upon the public might have concluded some sort of privilege. Oh damn. Privilege as the cause of exemption. Brooks posed on social media as an incompetent but narcissistic rapper. He left a video trail not just of his mediocre recordings, but of clear evidence of virulent anti-Semitism and anti-white racism. So when we start when we start back knocking white people the fuck out, I want to hear it, the old white people to knock them the fuck out, period. Oh, that's kind of a, I don't know what he's doing there. Is that kind of a phonetic spelling of whatever he tries to rap? Anyway, as pundits strained to deny any connection between the climate of BLM anger over the Rittenhouse verdict and Brooks' murders, Brooks' own testimony point to a connection, at least in the sense of hating people on the basis of their race. Indeed, regional Milwaukee Black Lives Matter activist Vaughn Mays quickly alleged that the Rittenhouse acquittal had earned the homicidal payback. A low-level Democratic functionary tweeted that the dead children of Waukesha were proper karma for Rittenhouse walking free. Quote, "I'm sad anyone dies. I just believe in karma. And this came around quick on the citizens of Wisconsin." Fucking A. Hi, Jesse Leon. His apparent euphemism for mass murder, but it sounds possible that the revolution has started in Wisconsin. It started with this Christmas parade. This is a fucking politician? No, a low-level Democratic functionary, whatever that means. I wonder whose quote that is. Brooks is for a while in jail, yet for some crazy reason he can be freed on a $5 million bond. He awaits charges of mass homicide, although one never quite knows. The Milwaukee County District Attorney, Jim Chisholm, is a controversial reformer. Why isn't that not working? He's a controversial reformer district attorney whose campaigns have been funded in part by the George Soros conglomerate. Oh, joy! Yay! Creepier still in the past, a prescient Chisholm has boasted about his own future to the Milwaukee Sentinel, namely that his prosecutorial and bail policies would eventually release career criminals onto the streets who would probably inevitably kill some innocents. Yet he riffed that such carnage was acceptable collateral damage from his decriminalization agenda. Is there going to be an individual I divert or I put into a treatment program who's going to go out and kill somebody? You bet. Guaranteed. It's guaranteed to happen. It does not invalidate the overall approach. What a fuckhead. One wonders whether Chisholm will take that argument to the families of the Waukesha deceased, that the loss of their loved ones was a reasonable sacrifice to ensure that misunderstood 20-year criminals like Darrell Brooks Jr.'s were not kept behind bars. So what are we left with from these horrors of two cities? In Kenosha, the media and the left ginned up race when there was no such component in the trial. But in Waukesha, they perpetuated racial arson and smothered the truth. That is, they kept largely silent when there clearly was racial hatred. Given Brooks' own record of anti-white and anti-Semitic venom, again, the media can turn from creation to suppression on a dime. given the common theme of ginning up racial strife and hatred. An amoral media and left so far have kept an inconvenient Waukesha car crash out of the mainstream news, reversing their wild, sensational obsessions with Kenosha. After all, in their unhinged, racialized worldview, the demonization of a 17-year-old white male,
You're fucking a white male!
who shot 3 other white males, could be squeezed for racial juice, given the larger contextual landscape of a riot over a police wounding of an African-American male. The shooting of Jacob Blake that set off the Kenosha riots was later determined to be justified, given the armed suspect was heading towards his car after fighting with police who were called to the residence to protect a woman who had a restraining order against the career violent felon. In sum, Rittenhouse had no criminal record. All 4 of his assailants had lengthy arrest records. 3 of them were ex-felons. He had no record of racial hatred of which he was accused. In contrast, Brooks was an abject violent racist whom media sought to shield, and he was a career felon who both long ago and quite recently should have been kept behind bars so that he would not murder innocents. How Wisconsin ex-felon received a $1,000 bail bond and freedom to mow down incidents after trying to run down 2 with his car, while another juvenile without an arrest record what happened there? This thing jumped on me. While another juvenile without an arrest record with good grounds to claim self-defense was required to post a $2 million bond and so stayed incarcerated pending charges without running water in his cell, is a commentary on the abject implosion of the American justice system. Rittenhouse should have never been charged. Brooks should not have been out of jail. The effort to make the former a beneficiary of white supremacy and the latter victim of it required a level of amoral media deceit and finally was unsustainable even in this bankrupt age. This is Victor David Hansen, for those who just getting here, who wrote this article that I had off center the whole time I was reading it. As usual, Mr. Hansen being the poignant one and making more sense than most things. All right, let's run through some headlines that are going to be in the tab, and we're going to get out of here. Well, that's not it. We'll just flip through these. Let me close this real quick, and I'm done with that. And by the way, real quick, thank you so much, people tweeting the show out. Looks like Somnambule Nation, Tyler F, and Maddie as the regular sharers of the show. Please share the show before, during, after. Also, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We got 31 people, 25 likes. Yeah, get that up there. And also, if you want to sponsor the show, you can. Just like Cigar Chopping Penguin, Sheograth, Cryptic, and all those people did on, and Renee Mayette, and all did on Saturday. And Jimmy from Philly. Oh, that was I had quite a few people sponsor the show on Saturday. I really appreciate that. If you're able, don't do it. It's Christmas season. Spend your money on your family. If you want to throw a buck in the tip jar, that's great. But I'm not. I'm good. All right, let's just run through the headlines that you're going to see in the tabs today. Dr. Fauci. Such a jackass. If you saw his Face the Nation interview, did I say almost said that? Interview. He's a lying shitbag. I'm sorry. I just can't stand the man now. And I don't have the Resist Faucism cup, but you can buy one on at PDawgKnight.live in the merch tab. All the what is it? Resist Faucism gear. It's in there. Top scientist blast Fauci as a serial liar, blames ex-Biden pandemic advisor as an empty head, an adult. Richard H. Ebright, award-winning scientist and Board of Governors professor of chemistry and chemical biology at Rutgers University, responded to statements made by Dr. Anthony Fauci on Sunday by repeatedly calling Fauci a serial liar. He's got a list. You can check out his list, and it's glorious. I read the article earlier this morning. Also, speaking of Fauci, he claims he's mad at the GOP for criticizing him. I'm going to be saving lives, and they're going to be lying. Gee, he's been so successful at saving lives. Over the last couple of years, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Anthony Fauci said on CBS Face the Nation that Republicans like Senator Ted Cruz and Rand Paul criticizing him were lying while he is saving lives. You know, it's funny about that. That whole gain of function research and you funding the lab and all that. Remember that, Dr. Fauci? We remember that? I distinctly remember that, and it turned out to be true. And you turned out to be lying. So the interview is in this tab with the Breitbart article, and there's certainly some transcript here where he's complaining they're lying, and also said that he represents science. You blinded me with science. Da, da, da. Yeah. Anyway, so Ted Cruz responds to the attack on him. In a scathing statement, doubles down on a call for the criminal probe because Cruz wants a criminal probe, and I guarantee you, sometime after the 2022 elections, midterms, I got a feeling that Dr. Fauci is going to be in the hot seat a little more than he has been. Here's a statement: anybody who spins lies and threatens, and all that theater that goes on with some of the investigations and this is Fauci. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you Ted Cruz's statement. It's down here. Cruz responds to Fauci's remarks in a series of tweets late Sunday afternoon, calling Fauci an unelected technocrat who has distorted science and facts in order to exercise authoritarian control over millions of Americans. Well, that seems pretty accurate. And here's the 4 facts that he lays out. On May 11th, Fauci testified before a Senate committee that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain of function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. On October 20th, National Institute of Health wrote they funded an experiment at the Wuhan lab testing if spike proteins from naturally occurring bat coronaviruses circulating in China were capable of binding to the human ACE2 receptor in a mouse model. That is gain of function research. Fauci's statement and the NIH October letter cannot be both true. The statements are directly contradictory. The U.S. 18 U.S. 101 makes it a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison to lie to Congress. And Dr. Fauci, you did.
Why the fuck you lying?
Anyway, so it's comical. That article will be in the tabs. Also on from Breitbart, astounding, alarming. Rand Paul scolds Fauci for saying I represent science. Yes, he said I represent science. Here's Senator Rand Paul. The absolute hubris of somebody claiming they represent science. It's astounding and alarming that a public health bureaucrat would even think to claim such a thing, especially one who has worked so hard to ignore the science of natural immunity. Give that man a bell. Yes, Rand Paul, you are absolutely correct. FTG, Dr. Anthony Fauci, that we could do that every day, even though it's not FTG Thursday. And Fauci was blasted for remarks about Cruz calling GOP senators lying, saying something a cult leader would say. Yeah, he sounded like a cult leader. I am science. You will defer to me. Anyway, all good articles, and lots of people have been chirping about Dr. Fauci's dumbass. Now, the COVID variant. Now, look, in Greek, that is pronounced Kai, but in Chinese, it's pronounced Shi. And the World Health Organization, in an effort to not offend China and the Chinese, Xi Jinping, and so on, they decided to skip a letter on the variant known as Omicron and decided to go with, they skipped Xi or Kai and decided to go with Omicron. Omicron variant. Sorry, I forgot to yell it. The Omicron variant. Because they want you to hear about the Omicron variant very, very much so. By the way, we'll move on. But anyway, so you can talk. That's hilarious. And Now, there's a South African doctor, though, who says that about Omicron variant that currently there's no reason for panicking as we don't see severely ill patients. So this is a variant that is not as dangerous, apparently, according to the South African doctors who were the first to discover it and have been doing research on it since it came out. Dr. Angelique Coetzee, chair of the South African Medical Association, alerted the country's vaccine advisory committee after seeing multiple COVID-19 patients who were experiencing significant fatigue. Coetzee was seemingly the first to bring the attention of the Omicron variant. Speaking with Telegraph, he said that the symptoms are mild and that doesn't seem to be as bad as some of the other ones, but they definitely want you to know about the Omicron variant. You can read about that one in the New York Post today. Biden's special interest. This is interesting. Now, I, being one of flying, who's flown since the so-called vax mandates, but it doesn't apply to airplanes or airlines. Biden's special interest in science, only airlines escape his vax mandate. Well, now everyone kind of has because the Fifth Circuit told him where to stuff his vax mandate, at least via OSHA regulations. So anyway, is President Biden following the science? If the White House prevails in court, you'll soon need a stupid 19 vaccine to keep your job at any company with more than 100 employees. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to strike down the Fifth Circuit's ruling on this. I just don't. And it's not following the science. But anyway, there is the Omicron variant that could be a real problem. But, they're going to milk that for all it's worth. All right. Also in the tabs, 10 times Joe Biden promised to shut down the virus. Have they, by the way, in the chat, answer this question. Just a yes or no. Nothing crazy. Nothing. Just yes or no. Has Joe Biden successfully shut down the virus? Yes or no? So anyway, there's a whole a supercut here of him repeatedly saying these. How long is this?
What I would say is I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country. I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm going to shut down the virus.
Yes.
I'm going to shut down the virus.
I'm going to shut down the virus. I'll shut down the virus, not the economy.
I'm going to shut down the virus.
Once we shut down the virus, I'm going to shut down the virus. I'm going to shut down the virus. I'm not going to shut down the country, but I'm going to shut down the virus.
Okay. I'm going to guess that the president doesn't remember ever saying that. So he's going to say, I never said it. I never said I was going to shut down the virus. I said we're going to try to mitigate, what's happening, and we're never going to shut down this virus, and it's going to be endemic. Okay. Also in the tabs today, let's see, Keystone. Oh, Manchin is pushing the Keystone pipeline because it can bring 900,000 barrels a day, surpassing Biden's one-time $50 million in under 2 months. Wait, 50 what? No, one time 50 million. I don't know what that means. Did I read that right? Anyway, Manchin's talking about the Keystone Pipeline. People, are the cost and the things going on, and because the Saudis aren't gonna, they're not gonna. They have no reason to start raising production, nor do the Russians. They're making bank right now, and hell, it might even get Venezuela out of the hole for a little bit, but. But anyway, Joe Manchin talking about the Keystone Pipeline. Also in the news, Detroit businessman has been blasting Gretchen Whitler on her economic policies, and you'll have to just read it. It's a good story. It's cute. It's a cute story. Okay. Let's see. What else do I got here? Minnesota. Oh God. So this school district tried to charge parents $900,000 for records that they, got a FOIA request type thing. So they told a law firm representing concerned parents that it would cost up to $900,121 to complete a government records request, according to a communications obtained by the Daily Caller. What district? Rochester Public School District. It was the Rochester, Minnesota school district tried to pull that bullshit, and so they're probably the Daily Caller is basically making fun of them. That you can read that one. Also, Los Angeles public schools. We're talking education right now. They're teaching students that celebrating Thanksgiving is evil. That's a Federalist article. Deconstructing Thanksgiving is the whole new thing that Thanksgiving is evil. Thanksgiving, being thankful for what's happening in your world. You know, and now granted, they try to tie it to the story of Plymouth Rock and whatnot, but they don't have to. Thanksgiving just a time that it was an example where people stopped to think about, you know, they stopped to smell the roses. Remember I sang that song the other day? And they decided that, you know, that you're just, it's something you're thankful. You don't, celebrating Thanksgiving is evil. You know, there should be a day where you just stop and go, you know, I'm really thankful for the shit that we have, you know, that we just, you know, we could be living in some fucking third world country and be starving and, or having to, you know, dig wells with a stick or something. And you can stop and be thankful. Why would celebrating Thanksgiving, the idea of Thanksgiving is to celebrate what you're thankful for, right? Nope, can't do it because there's some story that people tell about some colony in Plymouth and shit. You got to read it to believe it. Anyway, and apparently in San Francisco, a knife-wielding Afghan refugee charged police and was shot dead. I'm surprised. I wonder if there's protests. He was screaming, Allah, Allah Akbar. It opens up the possibility that he might have been on a jihadi. I don't know. But I don't know if they've had protests there for it, but, you know, that's how it goes. Also, PG Media, is it offensive to illegal aliens to refer to them as an illegal alien? I don't think illegal aliens give a fuck about what you call them. They don't care. It's not demeaning. It means you're an alien, as in not a person who lives in this country, and they're here and you cross the border illegally. And that's, but two issues. California and Colorado have dropped the demeaning, quote unquote, term illegal alien from the law, and several other states are considering the move. Why is it demeaning? Oh, no, people are illegal. Shut up. They're here. They cross the border illegally, and they're not. Anyway. Here we go. Is the Omicron variant the midterm election variant? Yeah, I'm going to answer yes. I'm going to start reading a little more from that South African doctor who said that this particular Omicron variant is less deadly and milder symptoms, but they're not listening. They just want to, they've been screaming it at the top of their lungs from every newspaper and it's all over CNN and MSNBC. They're be afraid. Please, ladies and gentlemen, be afraid. So this store requires masks, right? They're out shopping. I don't know if it's Black Friday or something, but there's Joe Biden in the store where the mask is required, and Joe Biden with that weird look on his face. I don't know, is that a Photoshop? I don't know if it's real or not. President Biden was spotted in the store without a mask, despite the fact the store required masks. Now, this is a Fox News story, so you know you can't trust those right-wing nut jobs. But he was. Plus, he's telling people to wear masks. Oh, a video. Maybe it's true. Despite the large sign of the door stating required face covering, Biden shops maskless during his Nantucket vacation. He's on vacation. Oh my God, Joe Biden. Here he is. Oh, that didn't grow. There he is in the store. No mask. Mask required. No mask. Wait, start that over. Mask required. No mask. Mask required. That's Joe Biden. Mask required. Joe Biden, no mask. What the hell is he doing? The president, shouldn't he be wearing triple masks right now? Although he did have his third booster. I wonder if he had any side effects. I'm still wondering if Gavin Newsom. I still wonder if he was suffering side effects, why he had to hide from the public for a couple weeks instead of going to the, that global fucking warming bullshit summit. Anyway. And finally, you already saw the story about the Rittenhouse rye, and they're not happy that people are celebrating the not guilty verdict of Kyle Rittenhouse, but you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup. We do not care. Congratulations, Kyle Rittenhouse, on being rightfully acquitted of all charges. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button before you go and share the stream before, during, after the stream. I'm late, so I got to get going. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that before, during, after, and in the off hours from the show. You know that there's all the options down in the description down below. I need to go do my other thing, and hopefully that I will avoid the Omicron variant. But I've already had stupid 19, so I am more likely to be able to ward it off with the B cell production of antibodies for these various variants that the vaccines. Oops, I shouldn't have said that word. Holy shit, that could be trouble. Error. What the hell? Did my show die? What did they do? Did the show die? Oh, there we go. I'm back. On my screen it show died. At least I think it did. Anyway, okay, I'm live. All right, we're good. Anyway, I gotta go. Time for me to go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.